Ah, right, hello there, my friend. How are you doing today? I hope you're having a great day so far. So today I'm joined by two very special guests who I want to acknowledge for taking the time out of their day to hop on this call with me. Also known as Phil and Martina Chubb, also known as the Mindful Mover. Um, very, very well known on Instagram in the calisthenics movement community, and also basically the two people who ended my 3 years of trial and error in regards to health and fitness, and have basically, solved all my problems, and hence why I'm making way more gains in less time. So, Phil and Martina, would you like to introduce yourselves and tell us, a bit more about yourself and what you do?
I'm Phil, and that's Martina.
Hi guys.
We basically provide online coaching to people and helping them get stronger with a mixture of body weight and weighted movements. And the whole idea is that we try to get people really, really, really big gains in smaller amounts of time so that it doesn't matter if you have unlimited amounts of time or if you have almost no time, you have only once a week, you can still get on the gain train.
Awesome, sweet, very short and to the point. And yeah, that was like one of the biggest things that kind of drew my attention of I found that like calisthenics, we all hear that we have to work out 2 hours a day, 7 days a week. And when you guys
Mhm.
were saying how like all these people are making gains from just like 3 workouts a week or whatever, I was like, holy snap, like I got to get on board myself. So my first question is like really like making gains on just 3 workouts a week. How can it get done, working around such a busy schedule, or, as you guys do for me, structuring a program where you can make such significant gains literally in the comfort of your own home?
So a lot of the confusion with the low frequency gains comes from people kind of assuming that every repetition is equal to another repetition.
Mm.
So, for example, if I am doing a chin up, that's equal to doing a chin up on another day. But there are ways to make these movements harder and take up more time. So, for example, let's say I'm doing a chin up. I go up, I go down. Part of the movement is kind of hard. Usually, this part, where you're kind of going from the 90-degree zone to the chin over the bar. That's where you see people start cheating and like kipping their body and trying to get over the bar. That part's hard. And then the bottom part's a little bit easier. So if you work out like that, you might not be overloading that entire movement. Another example could be what's easier, going up with the chin up or going down. Most people will find that the lowering part is way easier. So if you're working out, you might be doing these chin ups, but on the up part, it's hard. On the down part, you're kind of working like sub maximally. So what we were working on was making so that each rep is done in a fashion where it's really, really freaking difficult. So taking that same chin up example, I might grab the bar and start pulling. And Martina will hold around my waist and she will pull me down as I pull up. And she'll only allow me to basically grind the entire range of motion all the way up. When I reach the top, she'll pull down even harder and basically pull me off the bar so that the whole entire range of motion is once again a massive, massive grind. And, like each of those reps, when you do one, it's really, really, really fatiguing. And you can end up basically working way harder in that one session than most people work, maybe in 2, maybe even 3 sessions. So with that, you can work out like, one time a week really hard and make massive gains.
Mm, exactly. And what I'll probably do in this video as well is show a combination of like you, because like Phil literally does this like with chin ups on one arm, right? I'm not quite at that. And it's known as accommodating resistance, isn't it? And
Yes.
again, it was a combination of I'll show like clips from like the program that Phil Martina gave me to give a better idea of like in order to make more gains in less time. It's all about like it's not being lazy of like working out less. It's like in order to like free up more time for family, relationships, work, all that good stuff. You gotta put like if you're working out for like 45 minutes, it's gotta be hard the whole entire time.
It's gonna be hard. Yeah.
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 Yeah, and so
So
like
some people. Go
so
ahead.
I feel one thing that like made me stumble across you guys is that you had if you guys follow like Phil and Martina, you'll know that have like a theme for every day, and one of them is of course Stupid Exercise Saturday, and which if you want some entertainment, grab some popcorn and see some of the comments that people like the whole some exercises which so many people advocate in calisthenics, like Phil Martina just straight up say no, it's not a great exercise for your time. That is so. I really I think the viewer, person watching this video, would be really curious of like, how do you guys kind of go about it in the sense of like making the most gains in the shortest time possible by using the right exercises to get a wide variety of gains, rather than trying to do one exercise one by one, then trying to get all of this when it's just like inefficient?
Yeah, what we basically do there with the Stupid Exercise Saturday is we'll see an exercise and we'll say, okay, let's take like an L sit, for example. So everyone thinks you got to have a good L sit before you move on to anything else. If you don't have an L sit, you can't move on. So we say, okay, that's fine. So then we have people and ourselves not work on the L sit. Instead, we might work on the planche or with like the pike pull through, for example. And then what we'll do is we'll say, okay, when we work on the pike pull through or the planche, the L sit goes up without any direct work. Now, we'll see, okay, let's test the reverse. If I work on my L sit, does my planche go up for free? If that doesn't happen, then we're saying, okay, you know what? It would be better for us to spend time on the planche and get the planche gains and the L sit gains rather than working on the L sit and only making L sit gains. So the L sit becomes now, a stupid exercise, and that ends up on Saturday, and then people get really offended at how that exercise is now stupid when they love it. But it's really more so about showing you that you can take this exercise out and make it for free without working on it directly. And that way, you spend more time and energy on exercises that you do need to work on to make gains.
This really benefits people, especially if they have like a wide variety of goals. If you just focus on like our big 5 movements, then you can pretty much gain a vast number of skills. So it not only helps people who like have limited time, it also helps people who like just literally just want like all of these different things, but they're like, oh, if I got to work on the human flag, I got to work on this, I got to work on that. And then it just becomes so much. But with these big 5 movements that we like preach about, you don't have to do all of those. You can just do 5 and then get all your gains there.
Literally, if you focus on the right exercises, you can make literally like the same, if not more gains than what people make in literally half a space of time. Like for me, it's like working out 3 times a week at home, about 45 minutes, if that. The fact of making more progress, that then gives me more time for my own business, my clients, relationships, family, all that good stuff. And it goes like far beyond just like not working out as much. Do you get what I mean?
Exactly. You're not working out as much, but you're still making gains the whole time.
Obviously, like nutrition itself isn't really spoken about that much. And so if someone wants to do calisthenics and then they want to focus primarily on losing body fat, let's say stubborn belly fat, they don't really know what to do because it's not really outlined that much. And obviously you guys, your nutrition, as I learned from you guys, is very, very simple. So how would you kind of go about for that person who wants to start calisthenics, but doesn't really know what to do with their nutrition if their goal is to lose, let's say, like 10 to 20 pounds of fat?
So our thing with nutrition is basically about health, and we base it off of just 2 concepts. One is the naturalistic concept. So we basically would eat what your great granddaddy times 100 exponent would eat. So whatever we ate millions of years ago, we tend to focus towards those things. So it's probably easier to say what we don't eat, which is probably like donuts, cereals, wheat, new sodas, all that kind of stuff. We stick to the things that came naturally and the things that our ancestors would have eaten millions of years ago. And then the second thing is things that we eat, ones that have been time tested for a while. So like, for example, white rice, not the oldest food in the book, but still been around a while, and we can kind of see that there's not too many risks to eating white rice, for example, compared to some of the newer foods that might be coming out or being made in a lab, like margarine or trans fat. Those kind of things, can't really be sure about them yet, and then later we end up finding out, oh, they're actually not so good not so good for you. So those two concepts, basically what we ate a long, long, long time ago, and if it's newer, it's got to have like a couple of generations of testing before we will even touch it.
I don't know what was that called again? Like when
naturalistic.
It was like Phil, it was like when we had our first consultation together. It was like something principle.
Lindy?
Lindy,
that's it.
Yeah, Lindy, yes.
Yeah, definitely.
Lindy's basically whatever's been around for like 1,000 years will probably be around for another 1,000 years. So white rice has been around. It's probably pretty decent. We've probably over the course of this time found out most of the risk involved with it. Whereas there's a lot of new things on the market, like once again, trans fat or
right now there's like CBD extracts, CBD chocolate, CBD like coffee, etc.
Or collagen.
That's newer.
Collagen's a big thing too, like collagen extracts.
Extracts are like weird.
Yeah, so like with an extract, you don't know if there were cofactors in that food originally that kind of maybe offset some of the negative effects of that food. And you might not find out about those negative effects until another 50 years. But it's too late. You're already, 70 at that point, and you have an issue, and it was actually from that food in the first place. One other example would be like intermittent fasting. So, back in the day, if you wanted to eat, you probably had to go out and hunt some food or forage for it. Nowadays, you don't have to. You can go to your refrigerator and hunt there, and you can find plenty of food at any time of the day. So now people are eating, all the way from morning time down to their midnight snack. And we don't know yet if that has some detrimental effects compared to before when you would have had to fast for a while. It might, and they're kind of starting to see in research that intermittent fasting and things like that tend to help with all these different sorts of issues or help lean people out. So once again, it's just about kind of going back to that naturalistic and that time tested method compared to the newer things that are coming out and aren't so risk exposed yet.
Yeah, I see. And I did I've done intermittent fasting in the past. I've been doing intermittent fasting since I've been working with you guys for a few months.
Nice.
Awesome.
Yeah.
I feel definitely if someone's goal is to lose fat, I've had some clients who, I don't know what it is with intermittent fasting, but the moment they've actually gone on to intermittent fasting, it's like the fat loss has just been way more consistent. As well as cravings, I feel like I very rarely get cravings anymore. And especially if someone was to like eat out with friends or family, it's really, really hard to overeat on a daily basis if like you fasted in the morning, right?
Yeah. It's I don't know the exact mechanism for it. They come up with different theories for it every year or every month sometimes, but it just seems to work. If you just do the intermittent fasting, problems tend to clear up and health tends to improve, and your waistline tends to get slimmer with more abs. So hey, if it works, use it, right?
Again, it's like it's pretty cool. It's like you don't know exactly how it works, it just works.
Yes.
It just works.
Yeah.
And it's like nature knows it works. We don't yet. We might find out the mechanism for it later, or we might find out a different mechanism for it later, or we might find out that both of those were true, or that neither of them were true. But it works, so we go with that.
Awesome, sweet. So I mean, in regards to like training Trish to go out, I think one thing as well, I'm not sure if you guys see it, whether it's with followers or even clients, it's almost like I feel in the calisthenics community, because we use more of our body weight, if that makes sense. People have a lot of false beliefs in regards to their own capabilities. So I don't know, one reason being like, Jake, I'd love to start calisthenics, but I'm over 35, over 40, and like my metabolism slowed down, so I can't do it, if that makes sense. Like, do you feel you ever have like any clients like say like kind of like batter their own self-confidence so they can't actually discover what their body is actually truly capable of?
Yeah, I find that to be kind of interesting, because it's kind of like, okay, for some reason, if you were lifting weights, then you automatically know, well, I wouldn't start off with 500 pounds on the bar. I would start off with 5 pounds and then 10 pounds and work my way up slowly. And then wherever I end up is where I end up. But for some reason, people see like, you doing planches or one-arm chins, and they're like, I can't do that. And it's
Yeah.
like, you could progressively load it. You don't have to start off with the full planche right now.
Yeah, exactly. Like if you look at Phil and Martina, it's like it's like you guys are here, and then other people are like over here, and it's like, oh, I can't do that. But it's like guys have like started all the way back here, and a lot of
Yeah.
people don't realize like whether they want to lose stubborn fat and their problem is their metabolism. Because yes, ultimately, if someone is like over 35 or whatever, their metabolism does start to slow down. Or if someone is struggling to start calisthenics, it's like you don't want to compare someone else's like chapter 10 or for you guys like chapter
Yeah.
like beast level or whatever like chapter 1. And so like what I'm really curious because I found that the extra accountability you guys have provided me, I'm curious, like, is there anything you kind of go through with some clients who literally really have this like false belief that they cannot actually do it because of X, Y, and Z, when obviously you know that's not the case? Like, how do you kind of educate them to almost like restore their confidence?
It's kind of like, my martial art teacher told me, he's like, how do you eat an elephant? It's one bite at a time.
Mm,
So it's like, don't worry. We tell them we have progressions. You're not going to start off
yeah.
with the planche push-up. You're going to start off with the lean forward push-up. And people ask this sometimes even on the Instagram. I'll say, okay, we want to work towards the planche push-up, the one-arm chin, the handstand push-up, the front lever row, and the back squat. And someone will say, well, those are really hard movements. How do I do that? I say, it's not about working on them. It's about working towards them.
Mm,
So you might be starting off your planche push-up journey with just a normal push-up. That's okay.
yeah.
And then over time, it might progress to a lean forward push-up. Great. And then over time, it might progress to a tuck planche push-up. That's awesome. Then you might go towards advanced tuck and then straddle and then maybe full one day. But it's all about the progressions, just like you would use with weighted, 5 pounds, 10 pounds, 15 pounds. The same thing with body weight. It's going to start off with the push-up and the lean forward push-up and the planche push-up, et cetera, et cetera.
Exactly. And so you literally like hit the nail on the head there. It's like instead of focusing on where, for the person watching this video right now, if you're like so overwhelmed with whether it's my progress or especially Martina and Phil, who are like 10 times higher than me, right? Like instead of looking at like where you want to go, start of where you are right now, and
Mhm.
you kind of build from there, don't you? It's like you just focus on where you are. You do like whether it's nutrition, losing fat, or building muscle with bodyweight training. It's like you start at where you currently are. One thing I want to talk about is what are your thoughts on ab workouts? Because you guys, one thing I really like with you guys is that you have a very similar thought on like ab workouts. In fact, like Phil Martina, they don't. Not only are they not advocates of ab workouts, they don't actually advocate training abs whatsoever. So
uh,
tell us more
I
about.
basically our thought is like, if you need it, it's great to add. But here's the problem: most people don't actually test to see if they need it. They're just like, I'm just gonna toss it in right now. Or they, once again, going back to the feeling thing, I feel like I need to work my abs, so I'm going to. So I tell people, okay, you know what? Try this. Try not working your abs. Try not doing ab workouts. Just doing your squats and your everything, and see if you still make gains. If you still make gains, then you probably didn't really need that ab workout to make the gains in the first place. Then at that point, you got to ask yourself, you know, is that ab training possibly just taking up time and energy that could go towards recovery? Or maybe you could use that time to get one more set of the real work, the real goal that you want to do. You know, maybe less abs, take away 3 sets of abs and do one more set of squats, and your squats might even go up faster. So that kind of thing. It's like, no, we don't really give people abs. We haven't really found anybody who really, really actually needs the ab work, but most people feel like they need it, and that kind of leads them the wrong way once again.
Yeah, and I think if anything, the best way is something you guys share on your Instagram as well. Is like if you want to train abs, you do it more in a way in which it gets more than just like the abs, if that makes sense. So
Exactly.
it's like I'm pretty sure your favorite, if not the only ab exercise you advocate, is leg raises. So
Hang leg raisers.
that would be leg raise on the floor and then leg raises on the bar, and then as I've done with you guys, toes to bar, which is like
Exactly.
'Cause that way, again, that's Phil Martina's philosophy of like that way you don't just strengthen the abs, you also get increase
Mobility work.
in mobility work. So like the hip
Yeah.
flexors as well as the hamstrings, rather than doing everything separately.
Exactly. That way, like, no, if you need abs, great. Sure, you're going to get some abs there, but you're also going to get some hamstring mobility and pike compression. So you're getting a wider range of gains for what you're doing. You're not just doing, you know, the sit-ups or the hollow body holds where it's supposed to help your abs, but then actually it was just a waste of time.
What's the worst advice you hear in the calisthenics community that too many people fall for?
Oh, the word. Wow, there's a list of that. Oh,
Oh, I think the idea that all exercises are useful.
oh, yes. That's a great one. What she said. The idea that all exercises are useful. So basically, there's this kind of thing where it's like people will be like, okay, what should I do? Should I do planches or L-sits? And the answer everyone will give them is do both. And it's like, I feel those are the same kind of people who are like, should I go out with this person or that person? And they'd be like, I should go out with both of them at the same time and not tell them, like, come on, like, there's got to be more decision that goes into it than do both. So I think with that idea that all exercises are useful, people who use that idea oftentimes aren't taking the time to actually think critically and test things out and see what is actually useful and what isn't. So in the case of once again that planche versus L-sit, if you work on the planche, your L-sit gains will go up for free. If you work on the L-sit, you might not be making those free planche gains. You might just be making L-sit gains. So instead of doing both, why don't you spend more of the time on the planche, watch the L-sit go for free, and watch your planche go up instead of doing the L-sit and then just only making L-sit gains. So the do both advice is one of the ones that we definitely.
It's probably the dumbest.
Yeah,
it's the dumbest.
It is.
You're not using your brain. You're not thinking.
Or trying.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So again, it's like tied to your philosophy. It's like most people, they think with training it has to be 1 + 1 = 2. You want to make 1 = 11.
Exactly. Exactly.
Like when you told me that, Phil, I was like, my brain just
mind blown.
Awesome. So I got 2 more questions.
Okay.
Next one is, if someone watching this video has been, let's say, wanting to lose 15+ pounds of fat, build a little muscle as well, but can never really see results, what one piece of advice would you give to them so they can finally make it a reality and build a body they're proud of?
Probably if I had to give them advice, it would be to take away whatever's keeping them away from that goal in the first place. So specifically, if it is losing 15 pounds of fat, my question is, why do you have 15 extra pounds of fat in the first place? You're eating something that you're not supposed to. You know, it's like, what is it? So that's the thing. Like, you know, there's a lot of positive advice. And by positive, I mean like adding to your day kind of thing that people will say, well, go work out more, or
lower your calories.
Yeah, or like take this fat burning thing. And it's like, what could you do instead? You could just remove whatever is taking you away from that goal, and it'll be probably a lot easier. In that case, for that person with the 15 extra pounds, maybe not having as many donuts every breakfast might bring them down by itself.
Or maybe not snacking, maybe only eating meals.
Intermittent fasting once again.
Or, yeah, exactly. Maybe some fasting.
The cool thing with that method is, let's say that to get down those 15 pounds, right, you add in a bunch of cardio.
Yes.
Well, now what happens when you take that cardio out? You either get fat again and gain them all back, or now you're stuck doing cardio the rest of your life. That's not fun. If you take things away to get down lean, great. Now you're good. You don't have to do anything. You're set. You can stay there so easily. And, you know, if you want to have a donut every now and then, great. Don't have a box of them at the same time.
Yeah. And that's so powerful. I've never heard anyone, because like that's the thing where people who primarily want to lose fat, it's like they think they have to do more and more, but really it's like, again, like the 80-20 rule. It's like 20% could be doing more, like more exercise, like better eating habits, but 80% it's literally like removing the things that actually is holding you back from losing fat in the first place. Wow. I really hope if you're watching this video, my friend, and your goal is to lose fat, like that advice alone, like I want to hear back from you in like 10 weeks to tell me you've lost it.
Thank you.
That's awesome. So my very last question is, if you could have, let's say, your own billboard. We were talking about whiteboards earlier, that's why it came up.
Yeah.
Huge billboard in, like, let's say, the middle of, I don't know, New York or something. And on that billboard, you could have one quote that you live by. What would it be?
Ooh, that's a hard one. That's actually a hard one. I guess if it was a quote about that, I guess one quote that I really like, and I don't know if I'm going to get this exactly right, but I got it from one of, once again, Nassim Taleb's books. Basically, he was explaining that theories are only theories if you put them to the test. A theory has to be testable, and it has to be disconfirmable, basically. So that theory of, okay, 3 times a week of training is the best thing to do, it's like, that's not really a good theory because you can't really test that effectively. I think a better one might be to say, I think we can't make gains unless we train at least 3 times a week. That's a good theory, because then you could say, okay, great, well, I'm going to try to train twice a week only, not 3 times, just 2 times. And then I'm going to see if I make gains. And you do it for 6 weeks, you make gains, and you're like, okay, great, that theory about 3 times a week, that is untrue. We actually know that you can make gains on twice a week. And then someone else will come over and be like, oh, I'm going to try to do 1 time a week and see if that makes gains. And then they can do that, and everyone can test that theory. But the theories that come out that most people make and they don't have a way to test them and disconfirm them, those are not good theories, and those should definitely be taken as facts.
Awesome. Sweet. That's awesome. So lastly, like, where can the person watching this video, where can they find you? Where can they learn more about you?
So you can find out more about us on our Instagram. It's _mindful_mover. And there we post every day something different on body weight or like weighted training and how to be more efficient with your time. But if you want to find out more about how to work with us, we have a website, www.mindfulmover.com. You can go /online coaching. That should work, or you can just like click email on the Instagram. We basically just work off Instagram for the most part. And we also have newsletters too. So if you want to sign up for those, you can just go on our website and sign up for that.
You get extra stuff every week on that one.
Yep.
Awesome, sweet. Any last words you want to share?
Any last words before we die?
Oh, no.
Like before.
Basically, just like I said earlier, make sure that if you are trying to make gains, or if you're seeing a lot of theories and statements and things that come out as fact in the industry of fitness or of any kind, make sure you don't automatically believe them. Make sure you test them out. Make sure you find someone else who tested them out, or do something to actually see if it's true or not before you automatically take it as fact. Be skeptical.
Yep, I completely agree with that.
Definitely. And yeah, or if anything, like what I'm doing with you guys, I'm not doing any of the guesswork anymore. I'm just kind of
which is really nice.
Exactly, or get someone to do it for you.
I'm just like streamlining on you guys, and it's crazy with you guys. I'd say it's been like 3 months now. I've probably made more progress than I did in like the whole of last year.
Happy to help.
Really, the power of just asking for help for those who have been there. They've done all the guesswork, and they just kind of like take it all the way up there, which is awesome. So yeah, Phil Martina, it's been awesome talking to you today.
Thank you.
It's been a pleasure having you on here. I hope you watching this video, my friend, you gained some valuable insight, and comment down below what part of this video you found most helpful, and ultimately what you're then going to take into action from Phil Martina's wisdom, right? Yeah, awesome. I'll catch you, my friend, in the next video, and I'll catch you, Phil Martina, pretty much like tomorrow, because we're going to be talking. Awesome.
So